Hey, everybody. Hope and pray that you're doing well today. So we come to our word from the Word. And today that word is accusing. Accusing. Now, God obviously heard everything that was going on in the conversation between Job and his three friends and even heard what Elihu said as well. And as you're going through this, here in chapter 40 today, Job chapter 40, you'll see that Job does have a chance to respond, but he only says a little bit. And then the Lord continues to speak. And so these first 4 days this week, I'm just going to talk about what God is saying. And then Friday, we'll talk about Job's response. But just to look, his response today is basically, I don't have anything. I don't have anything to add because I can't say anything about what you've asked already. So today, the accusing, though, is to look what God says next. So Job chapter 40, looking at verses 6 through 9, then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, Now prepare yourself like a man. I will question you, and you shall answer me. Would you indeed annul my judgment? Would you condemn me that you may be justified? Have you an arm like God, or can you thunder with a voice like he is? Now he goes on and says, Job, how could you compare to me? The only one that can say that is God. There is no comparison. But the point there, the accusing part, and I'm not saying that he's accusing Job because he's righteously accusing Job. Job, how dare you say those things? But what it does is it takes us back to all this that we've been talking about. Right? How many times have we justified in our minds our attitudes towards God and basically accusing him? How many times have we had those moments where we say, God, you don't know what you're doing? Or when we say, God, what are you doing? We say it with an attitude that basically says, God, you don't know what you're doing. God, you don't have my best interest in mind. God, you don't see the trials and the struggles and the pain that I'm going through. God, can't you give that to somebody else? God, it's not fair. Don't we love to say that? Didn't Job love to say that? It's not fair. But what God says is, wait a minute. You would accuse me of not being just to justify yourself? You would annul my judgment? You would annul my knowledge and my wisdom just so you could justify yourself? The thing is if we're living right, if we're doing things like Job was, right? If we're doing things right, we need to be patient, as Job was to a point. We need to be patient, but we need to wait until he's the one that justifies us. See, in the end, he is justified in front of his friends. His companions are going to have no other choice but to understand that Job was right and that they were wrong. But look at all that was lost. Look at all the trial. I mean, not the trials, but look at all the pain and struggle that he was going through. I would just even say, look at all the mental and spiritual anguish that Job was going through, all because he would not patiently wait on the Lord. He kept trying to get the Lord to come and meet with him on his timetable. Because God, you're being unfair. I need to stand up and plead my case. And that may be where you're at today. You may be thinking, look, God, I need you to show up now because I need to plead my case before you and show you how unfair this is. But the whole point is as soon as we say that, we are claiming to be more knowledgeable than God. We're claiming to be wiser than God. And we're accusing God that he doesn't know what he's doing. That's a dangerous place to be. It's a very dangerous place to be. So today, I want to encourage you, and I want the Lord to encourage me as well, to not be accusing God, but to be accepting of God, to be acknowledging what God has coming my way. And that's the same thing I pray you see in Job's life for the rest of this book. God bless you, and I pray you have a great, great day.